Hi there, my name's Shane Sterling. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in Washington State at a state park right by Mount St. Helens, and I camped here last night. You can see this is like a common ground with some picnic tables, and the trees are cool. This is like a redwood grove, and man, it's pretty beautiful here and pretty magical. And it's early in the morning still. People are still sleeping, so I try not to talk too loud because there's people camping right over there. And I just woke up from camping. It's like 8 in the morning. There's like a mist in the redwoods, like pretty cool. It's a nice spot. So I just came here to do a video because I'm thinking about self-worth and the keys of self-worth in the diet and how we choose to treat ourselves well, or how we choose to abuse ourselves invisibly and unconsciously. And self-abuse can take so many different forms. That can look like never being successful at what we dream about. That can look like, never getting the job we like, or never pursuing our dreams, or being unhealthy, or being overweight but still eating junk food all day long, and self-deprecating behaviors where we never get the results we want. We never get what we're after. We just live a life of quiet desperation, and we're miserable, but we just stuff it and we get along. Well, that's how self-worth manifests. Self-worth manifests as not being who we're meant to be. Self-worth manifests as not being able to contribute or to be productive in our life. And I think when we eat junk foods and even cooked foods, and definitely animal products, meat, dairy, and eggs, is a form of self-abuse. And it is an invisible ideology of violence. It's an invisible ideology that we don't see. We have a complete blind spot to it. And I've only been able to come to terms with this after almost a year on raw food. It's only at this point in my life that I'm able to see how violent it is to eat meat and take death into our body. That includes cooked food, that includes sugar, that includes coffee, that includes crackers and treats and pastries and cookies and flour. That includes bread. So it might sound strange, I don't know, depending on where the listener is at in their life. I believe that something as seemingly innocent as bread is a violent act against the self, because the self is not designed to process and utilize that. Our body is really literally a temple. Our body is literally a biological, miracle. It's a miracle. Our body deserves nothing but the best. Our body deserves absolute purity, pure water, pure air, pure food, and anything else is an act of violence against the self. And the only reason we would act in violence against ourselves is because we don't have a correct vision of self-worth. We have a distorted image of self-worth of ourselves. We don't see ourselves correctly. We don't see ourselves for who we are, and therefore we take damaging foods into our body. We have damaging thought patterns, we have damaging actions, and we don't realize who we are. We don't see ourselves correctly. It's a distortion. If we knew who we were, we wouldn't take cooked food into our body. If we knew who we were, we certainly would not kill other sentient beings, because we are not just animals on this planet in the food chain. We're actually highly consciously evolved. We obviously know we have self-reflection like no other animal on planet Earth does. That means that we're not like the animalistic kingdom on planet Earth. We have a responsibility to ourselves because we feel that self-reflection, we feel that spiritual connection, and that gives us a high responsibility to ultimately treat ourselves with the utmost respect. And that can only come from a deep understanding of self-worth. That self-worth is something that we're all obviously on the path of discovering and implementing in our lives. And, I'm really here in service to that blessing to everyone, to really be the reminder, just to be the messenger and offer a simple reminder that self-worth is important to cultivate in oneself, and it comes up from inside your consciousness, inside your body, from the deepest part of your connection to the divine and your all-knowing self, the never-ending wellspring of your divine creation, the energy that animates your body, the energy that becomes everything you think and do in the world. That divine creative force is your self-worth. It's where it comes from. It can never be destroyed. It can never be harmed. It can never be compromised. It can never be put in harm's way. And it would never treat yourself with disrespect. It would never treat yourself with harm. It would never put cooked food in your body. It would never put alcohol or sugar or caffeine in your body. The self-worth inside of you would only treat yourself with full reverence, respect, admiration, love, gentleness, and kindness. And that it comes in the form of pure food, the raw foods, high enzyme, high water content food, to fuel your body, to fuel your mind, to raise your consciousness, to really be in alignment and peace and harmony with everything around you. That's looking for a win-win in everything you do. In fact, it's looking for a triple win in everything you do. A win for me, a win for you, and a win for everything around us. All at the same time. That's a triple win. And we should always be looking for triple wins in everything we do. I do that by connecting with my inner self regularly. Some people might call it meditation. I don't have like an active like sit down meditation practice in my life right now, although I constantly think about how I should, and I'm obviously in the process of discovering my own self-worth and activating that myself. But I always, my entire life, even as a child, I've always had a strong connection to my inner self. It's one of my gifts, it's one of my strengths, and it's why I am here on this video, because I know through that connection inside of myself, that connection to my divine source, I have self-worth. I have enough self-worth to not put cooked food in my body, to not put meat in my body, to not look at the world as a problem, to not hate humanity, to not hate the problems in the world, but to feel responsibility to change myself. And that's how that manifests. My actions are in alignment with who I am. My actions are in alignment with healing, positivity, higher consciousness, and win-win-win for everyone, everything around me. So that means not enslaving, that means not exploiting, that means not being selfish, not just looking out for myself, but looking out for how everything around me can thrive and be in harmony. That's how I live my life, that's how I think, and that's what I do. And it comes from a deep connection of knowing that I'm safe, knowing that I'm always okay. When I see people stressing out around me, like stressing out, like deeply stressing out, like people who go gray around finances and stuff, I know that I'm always okay. Deep down, yeah, I have financial problems, I have stressful situations, I have relationships, I have crazy things that seem insurmountable, that seem unsolvable, but deep down, I know I'm always okay. I'm taken care of. I have guardian angels, or however you want to think about it for yourself. That's what gives me the extra edge that allows me to have the self-worth to not damage myself, to not be the person who constantly re-attacks my body and my temple with damaged foods, toxic lifestyles, toxic thoughts. That's an important message I really wanted to share. It's self-worth. The more self-worth we have, the more life we have. The less self-worth we feel, the more we're going to act in ways that are in violence and aggression toward the purity of ourself, like physically abusing a child. We know physically abusing a child is wrong. Even spanking a child is not looked upon positively in our current culture. Although when I grew up, spanking was still pretty normal. But we wouldn't want to abuse a child. That's the same thing. We are the pureness, just like children, we shouldn't get away with that. We shouldn't be able to do that to ourselves, but we do. The more self-worth we cultivate, the less we're going to hurt ourselves. So that's my call to action, and that's my message today on this video, is that through cultivating a true sense, connecting with a true sense of self-worth, we will naturally start the journey onto a detoxification pathway to get the toxicity out of our body and to stop putting the toxicity into our body. That means stopping the toxic food, the junk food, the processed foods, the cooked foods, the animal products, and putting pure food in our body. Pure food, the cleanest water, high water content foods, high enzyme foods, living foods, to treat ourselves with the utmost respect, to treat ourselves like a newborn baby, to treat ourselves with reverence and kindness and joy when we look at ourselves. That's what we deserve. That's who we really are. So I'm here in service to that message, and I'm here in service to whoever is on this video listening to this with me. And I thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this message. Please subscribe to my channel for more conversation like this. I'd love to have you be part of these conversations. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.